Hey, what's up guys? Mr. Leventhal here, and today we're going to talk about two of the main religions of Southern and Eastern Asia, which are Buddhism and Hinduism. Okay, so here is a pie chart showing the religions of the world. We can see that Christianity is the largest religion in the world with 33% of the population. The second largest religion is Islam with 21%. And the third largest religion is Hinduism with 14%. This is a religion we're going to talk about today. And then the fourth largest is Buddhism, which I believe is now at 7%. And we're also going to talk about this one today. This is from 2005, so it's a little dated, but you know, the percentages are somewhat the same. Alright, here we can see kind of the religions by countries. So, you know, a lot of these purples and blues are Christianity. So North and South America, Sub-Saharan Africa, they all practice Christianity mainly. Australia, Europe. We can see that Sunni and Shia Islam are these greens. And you can see Northern Africa, the Middle East, Southwest Asia, Indonesia down here. A country made up of 17,000 islands. And also Bangladesh over here and Pakistan. And then Hinduism is orange. Okay, we're going to talk about that one first today. And India and Nepal practice Hinduism. And Buddhism, we can see here there's three types of Buddhism on this map. And China, Mongolia, you know, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, and Sri Lanka practice Buddhism. And just to note, Judaism here in red, we can see here that Israel is the only country in the world that is mainly Jewish. Alright, so let's get started. These are some of the major religions in Southern and Eastern Asia. We're going to talk today just about Hinduism and Buddhism. Hinduism and Buddhism. Alright, let's get started with Hinduism. Alright, Hinduism, this is the symbol of Hinduism. Let's talk about the origins of Hinduism. So, you guys should have your handout for this, and you'll take a few notes. So, for Hinduism is one of the oldest religions in the world. Not as old as Judaism, but it's really, really old. Developed in India around 1500 BCE, which is before Common Era. So, why don't you guys write this down in your notes in the origins section. Write down India, and write down 1500 BCE. Okay, here we can see an image of many of the gods of Hinduism. Alright, so you wrote down India, 1500 BCE. Here we go. Alright, the next section is Holy Book. The sacred texts of Hindu are called the Vedas. Vedas. V-E-D-A-S. Write that down. These are known as the books of knowledge, and it's a collection of hymns, religious texts, myths, poems, prayers, and sacred formulas. So this is kind of what the Vedas looks like. Alright, popularity. This is the third section of your notes. Why don't you guys write down that they have 1.1 billion followers, and they're the third largest religion. And you can also write, you know, that it's popular in India and Nepal. So here we can see again a map just of Hinduism, and we see that Nepal and India are dark orange. And we also see the United States has 1% of Americans are Hindu. So out of every 100 Americans, one of them is going to be Hindu. And we see Australia has a little, Saudi Arabia, Suriname, and Guyana, South Africa, UK, Norway. Okay. Alright, so we got that down. Origins, Holy Book, popularity. Let's talk about Brahman right now, which is in the next section of the main beliefs. So Hinduism is a monotheistic religion. So why don't you guys write monotheistic and write down supreme god equals Brahman. So this is their main god, and this god changes into lots of different gods, such as Vishnu and Shiva, Ganesha. So a lot of times people think that Hinduism is polytheistic because there's tons of different gods, but in fact there's just one supreme god, and then all the other gods are just like different versions of that same god. Here you can see some of those different gods and goddesses of Hinduism, like the monkey god, Hanuman, and you know, these different cool gods. This fire one, and the one with the tiger. Here's Ganesha, the elephant head, and Hanuman, the monkey god. Alright, so this is the next section, reincarnation and karma. This is part of the main beliefs of Hinduism. Okay, so Hindus believe that when you die, they believe in reincarnation, which is that when you die, your soul doesn't die with the body, but it enters the body of another being. So, with Christianity and Judaism and Islam, they believe that when you die, you go to the afterlife. But Hinduism and Buddhism don't believe that. They believe that when you die, most of the time your body is going to be, your soul is going to be reborn in a different body. So that's very different from Christianity and Judaism and Islam. And they believe that you live many lives, like your soul keeps living over and over and over again. And a good person, if you have a good life and you're a good person, the next time you're born, you're going to be born with a better situation, and you're going to have a good life. But if you're bad during your current life, when you're born the next time, you're going to suffer a lot. You're going to have like a bad life. So people try to live good lives so that when they're born again, they're going to have a better life, and they just keep trying to improve and have the best life they can get. So we talked about a soul being reincarnated over and over and over again. Now this doesn't go on forever. What the goal is to live such a good life that you can finally just be one with God, and then you stop being born over and over again. So the goal is to be like really good. And this is known as moksha. This is the main goal of all Hindus. So the belief that your actions determine your fate is called karma. This is very important, karma. So write that down. Belief that your actions determine your fate. So you should have written down like the definition of reincarnation and the definition of karma. So karma is like, if you are a good person and you do lots of good things, that's good karma. And then, you're like getting points. You're getting karma points. If you're doing bad stuff like harming other people or lying or cheating, stealing, then you're getting bad karma, and those are like negative points. And then, when you're reborn, you'll probably have like a worse life. So this is kind of what I was explaining. Like you have good karma. You're born, and then you die, and then you're reborn, and you keep going until you have such a good life that you stop being born over again. Oh, this is just a blue-faced guy. All right, let's talk about caste system. This is the third section of the Hinduism. Something important in Hinduism is the caste system. This is the belief that your social status, your social class is hereditary. So where you're born into a social class, and you can't go up or down in your same life. The only way to move to a higher caste, to a higher social class, is to be born into it in the next life. So depending on your karma, according to Hindus, depending upon your karma, when next time you're born in a new body, you can have a good life if you have good karma, or you'll be in a lower caste if you have bad karma. Here you see some Hindu people. And there's like 5 different castes that you can be born into. The best caste, the one that's closer to moksha, closest to like not reincarnating anymore, is Brahmin. And those are priests, wise men. The second highest caste is Kshatriyas, which is our warriors and rulers. The third one is Vaisyas, merchants, traders, farmers. The fourth lowest is Sudras, which are peasants and like farmers. And then the worst class, which is like a subclass, is untouchables. And those are the people who do like these guys over here. They're like the untouchables. They like prepare like dead bodies for like funerals, and they're just like the lowest class in all of India and among Hindus. Hindus believe all living beings have souls, and they consider cows sacred. So they like dress up the cow sometimes, and they pray to them, and they don't eat cows. Many Hindus are vegetarians because they think that eating animals is bad karma. So a lot of times they don't eat animals because they want to have good karma so that they can like have a good life in the future when they're reborn. Alright, so that was all about Hinduism, just a little basic introduction. We talked about Brahmin, we talked about reincarnation and karma, and we talked about the caste system. Now we're going to talk about Buddhism, another religion. So let's talk about origins. Buddhism began in India also around 500 BCE. So you guys could write down India, 500 BCE under origins. Okay. All right. For sacred text or holy book, you guys can write down Tripitaka. Tripitaka. So this means 3 baskets. This is the sacred text of Buddhism. And each basket is like a different category, but it's really like 3 books or 1 book with like 3 categories. And this holy book, the Tripitaka, has rules, regulations, sermons, Buddha's teachings. Buddha is like the main figure of Buddhism, and philosophical discussions. Here you see a Buddhist monk reading the Tripitaka. All right, popularity. So Buddhism has around 500 million followers. Which is like 7% of the population. It's the 4th largest religion in the world. And it's practiced all over the world. And even in the United States and in Europe, it's good. It gained more popularity, pretty recently. But China, Japan, Thailand, these 3 countries you could write down. China, Japan, Thailand. It's very popular there. And also Cambodia, Myanmar, and Sri Lanka. Here you can see the map, like where they practice Buddhism. Even here. North and South Korea. All right, so let's talk about Siddhartha Gautama. So this is the founder of Buddhism, Siddhartha Gautama, and he was like this young guy. He like was born into a rich family, and like he had everything he wanted. But he was like living lavish, like, oh, he had such a good life. But he would see all these poor people and all these sad people, and everyone was struggling around him, and he's like, man, like, why is life so hard? Why do people struggle so much? I want to figure out like what we can do to like stop suffering so much. Like, people are always like, having such a hard life. Like, why? So he left his rich family and he became a wandering monk. And he was like just trying to figure out why people suffer. And he meditated. He would just close his eyes and like think really hard and just like relax. And he's like, I need to figure out what needs to be done. Like, I'm just like a rich guy and like, I got time to do this. So I'm going to do it. Eventually he's had like a aha moment. He's like, oh, I know why people are suffering. They need to find peace. And it's because they're greedy and they want stuff. He's like, people, if you stop wanting stuff, then you won't be disappointed. You'll like, just be happy with what you have. Don't want more things, and then you won't be upset. You won't be mad about it. So he's like, this is it. I figured it out. We need to stop wanting stuff. Everyone's just like, oh, I want this, I want that. Stop wanting stuff. He's like, I'm going to teach everyone to stop wanting so many things and just find peace. It's going to be awesome. So this guy started teaching all these people. He developed his own teachings and he started getting all these followers, and they called him the Buddha. They were like, this guy's so smart. Like, this guy knows what's up. And he had all these followers. This means the enlightened one. And he accepted the beliefs of reincarnation and karma. So you guys could write down just like same as Hinduism for this section. He was like, oh, he probably everyone was a Hindu when he was living. All right. The Four Noble Truths. This is like the basic guide of Buddhism. So pretty much to summarize it, it's like, he's saying life is really hard, but it's because people are greedy. People are suffering and it's sad and they're pain. It's because they're greedy and they want all this stuff. And he's like, in order to be happy, you need to stop wanting stuff and give up your greedy desires. And this is called the middle way. Okay? That was the Four Noble Truths. Now, the middle way, Eightfold Path. So the middle way is accomplished by doing the Eightfold Path, which is these 8 things. Try to recognize the truth. Try to figure out what's real, what's real. Don't do evil things, and don't mess with bad people. Don't hurt others. Respect other people and their belongings. Choose a job that doesn't do any harm. Don't think evil things. Avoid excitement or anger. And meditate and think carefully about what matters. This is like the goal of Buddhists. Enlightenment. Nirvana. It's like, once you give up all your greedy desires, then you like find inner peace and you're like, you don't have to do it. He believes that you have to be unselfish. He didn't really believe in God or gods. And yeah, guys, so that was Hinduism and Buddhism. Thanks.